In the immediate days after the shooting, what was your primary responsibility with regard to the video?
Different things came up. There was a rumor going around that the shooter had actually tried opening doors, and identifying himself as the police. Well, that was actually the police, but I had to go up there and get more video footage just to determine how far he went completely down the hallway before he turned around, and then what had happened in the surrounding hallways and such like that.
And as the investigator who had to sync together the video, did you have to watch the video of the shooting itself?
Yes, sir.
All told, how many hours of video do you think you've watched to put this together?
Too many.
How many different angles did you have to see this from?
Every angle, every camera. There's some cameras that pointed back in one direction from where it started to, I don't know, 7 different angles maybe at different times.
In part of putting that footage together, were you aiding in the identification of the victims?
Yes.
Tell us what you saw in the video.
Started at 12:51. The shooter came out of the bathroom. I'll never forget it. He came out of that bathroom like what I've referred to before in my life, like a proud chest, like his shoulders were back. And he comes out of the bathroom, and there's Phoebe and her boyfriend just standing right there. And he takes the gun as he comes out of the bathroom, and he turns and levels the gun and fires at Phoebe and hits her in the shoulder and fires at her boyfriend, hitting him in his hand as he raised his hand from seeing the gun, I would imagine. Then to his right, immediately, right there, was Hannah St. Juliana and Kylie and Riley. And he started shooting at them, and they fell on top of each other. And in the distance in the camera, you can see the far end of the angle. You see what I found out to be was Madison Baldwin, and she crouched down, like I don't know why she did it, but it was in the fetal position, and the shooter ran right up to her, and he put the gun right on her head. She just fell over. He rounds the corner into the longer part of the 200 hallway. Prior to running towards Madison, he had just fired down the hallway, just trying to hit anybody that was running out of there. He rounds the corner and starts shooting. You see a whole bunch of kids, and you see a whole bunch of teachers standing at doors, just grabbing kids as they ran by and just throwing them into a room. And then there's 2 girls. One, you see, she runs up to a door and tries pulling it open, but the people inside had already put the safety latch at the bottom of the door, and she couldn't get it open. Meanwhile, the shooter's still walking towards, and another girl comes from the right side of the frame and grabs the other one by the arm and just tears off down the hallway. Meanwhile, the shooter is shooting at them. The shooter keeps walking down the hallway past the 200, I think it was a 400 T intersection, I think is what that was. And he levels the gun. And he fires 2 rounds, and at first I didn't know what he was shooting at. And when you go to the section of video of that time is when Tate Neer just comes in and unknowing to him, he had no idea what was happening. And the shooter leveled the gun, and just as Tate turned the corner, the shooter fired a round. And Tate fell instantly. The shooter took a couple steps and then leveled the gun again. And just to shoot Tate again, laying there, shot him. And you see Tate's body flinch. He then walks over Tate. At the top of the frame, you see his feet stop, the shooter's feet, and he turns towards a room that, looking at the frame, would be on the left, or would have been his left. And come to find later on, he had fired into a classroom where a teacher was. He continues on down the hallway, almost hunting for more victims or whatever. And he gets past a certain point, and there's no one else to shoot at because everybody had ran out of the school. Every door, every possibility, every door locked, whatever. And you see him turn around, and he stops at a classroom that, based on where the door is, you can't see deep into the room. It's like the room goes that way, but he can only see straight in. Well, as he's walking back this way, he can see the kids, I'm imagining, hiding in that corner, because he stops and fires off a few rounds through the glass. He then comes back, walking towards where Tate was lying. At this time, an assistant principal was laying there, or standing there next to Tate. And the shooter just walks past her with the gun in his hand, and she said something to him. I'm not sure what she said, but you could tell, like, he turned his head, like, almost didn't even look at her, turned his head like in shame. I don't know. And then he keeps on walking down the hallway to the bathroom where the other Justin Schilling was. And he just, as he gets to the bathroom, he just stops and turns right and just goes right to the bathroom.
Okay. Did the shooter eventually exit the bathroom?
Yes, he did.
Before he did somebody else exit the bathroom?
Yes, another student.
Okay. Tell me what you saw there.
That student, he was, I don't know how else to say it, but I've never seen somebody actually run for their life. And that kid was running for his life.
Now, did the shooter eventually exit the bathroom himself?
Yes, he does.
Tell me about that.
He comes out of the bathroom and he looks around a little bit to see what's going on. Turns around and the bathroom, the doors sit back in like a cubby type area, so they're off the hallway. The main hallway you really can't see, but he turns back around. And eventually now the two first responding deputies had gotten to Jason Lewert and Jens, were coming down the hallway. And Lewert was a little bit faster than Jens was, just because he was trying to cover more ground. You can see Tate laying on the ground. And Jens is walking a little bit slower. As he's walking up to him, the shooter just puts his hands up in the air and then goes down to his knees. As he's doing that, Jens realizes he sees something, and he yelled gun, from what he told me. And the shooter then lays down on his stomach, and Jason Lewert come back, and that's where they take him into custody right there.
Based upon your video